It's Batman 75, City of Bane, and this one promises to have some shocks. So let's see what the internet's talking about. Hey there, we're back with City of Bane, and this is the Tom King storyline that we've been leading up to for a while. It's kind of leading up to his in-game. Bane has taken over the city. It's Year of the Villain, but it's not Year of the Villain. It actually has removed the Year of the Villain trade dress completely from the cover, so we're just City of Bane here. Not getting involved in those other storylines. We've got Thomas Wayne and Gotham Girl on the cover. And this one is got a combo of Mikhail Jonan, I think, Jonan, and Tony Daniel as pencils as art. We've actually got inkers. Hooray! Thank you for some inkers. Although the inkers in some cases are themselves, so but anyway, we basically open with Damian is sneaking into Gotham. Gotham Girl has checked him out, and it's right into an attack. It's we're jumping right into the action. So she's all about him. We just saw Gotham Girl take out Captain Atom, so we know this is a matchup that can't work on power alone. So it's a good classic kind of Damian fight. It's told in a couple pages. He lures her in closely, and then uses some magic to basically trap Gotham Girl. So this is the first time we've actually seen a weakness, and she is trapped, and he, escapes off into the city. So Damian's on a mission. Meanwhile, back in old Catwoman's apartment, she's cooking and singing, and Bruce is hanging out on the couch. Domestic bliss, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Batman Catwoman preview that we're headed for right here. It's just a nice domestic scene. I like how she's got an apron and she's cooking away. She's got her blenders, and this scene is very domestic. Anyway, she's singing in French, so it's classy. But back in the city, we have Detective Scarecrow and Zaz, and they are, basically they're being cops. This is a throwback. Well, not a throwback, but a couple comics ago we saw Riddler and Joker doing some detective work. Now we've got Zaz and Scarecrow, basically enforcing the leash law, a literal leash law of a dog. And Damian comes in and he beats them all up and, takes them out. Then, we're back to Catwoman's apartment, and it's crappier now. Now suddenly the couch is all kind of beat up. In the previous panel, she had like a classy little French apartment. Now she's got a dumpy couch, and he's sad and he's depressed and he lost, and she knows he lost, and everybody's looking down sadly. And then again, these little scenes in the middle. Our real comic here is Damian inserting himself into Gotham. So back to Thomas Wayne. He's on the gargoyle, and he's Batman, and Damian's like, "You're a joke," and punches him, and they're having their little stare down. This is going to be this comic is setting up like this is the big confrontation. We got Bruce's dad against Bruce's son kind of fight. And now it's class back up again. Hey, it's a lot of expositions happening. We had Bruce and Catwoman are having a nice little lunch in a Le Paris cafe. I like how when the artists are like, we want them to communicate they're in France, so make this Le Paris cafe. I think this cafe, I may be wrong, but this looks a lot like the Nolan cafe that was in the last of his films when he was hanging out with Catwoman. But anyway, they're talking, and Catwoman's giving him some nice moral support by saying, "They'll win, you'll die," and he's like, "Yeah, I know, but at least I'll die in Gotham." This is a defeated Bruce. Oh well. Meanwhile, back where the action's happening, Damian and Thomas are fighting away all over the place. Damian Thomas has gotten the better of Damian. He's knocked him out. Catwoman's like, you're an idiot. Back in that scene, she's like, I'm not going to watch you die. There's a way. Why don't you learn something? And he's like, "Oh, I've looked at every scenario. I'm sorry. The only way is to go back in and die." And she's like, "Oh, you're a moron." And again, well, we'll get to it in a second. So anyway, back to old Damian. He's been tied up and kind of tortured. He's sitting there. He's like, "You came back in. You made a mistake." Um, and you're hearing Thomas and Bane. You're hearing talk from Thomas here. So Thomas is not shown, but he's in this scene somewhere. He's like, "You came back in. You decided to do it, and now this is the City of Bane." And we get the neck snap. Bane snaps Alfred's neck, and in front of Damian, and he's obviously traumatized and crying, and he's like, "You're forgetting we have a new hostage. The hostage is you. Maybe they'll not be as childish as you were. This was your mistake. You did this," and we get just the consequences of Damian's actions. And then now we've got Batman and Catwoman in their costumes. For some reason, they were hanging out on a French street, and now they're suited up. And she's like, "You want to take back our city, Bat? You want revenge? Let me show you the way." And like, let's go get some revenge. Back in the fight. That's what it promises. So there you go. So obviously the shocking part of this comic is Bane snapping Alfred's neck. That's the big gotcha moment here, and that's what people are going to be talking about on the internet, and what's driving up some of the speculator price. A few things here, and a couple of people have called this, and I entirely agree. I don't believe Alfred's dead for a second. I think that what we're seeing here is either by nature of Scarecrow, who we saw earlier in the comic. We're seeing kind of a fear there, or we're getting some of the Psycho Pirate. So Robert Starcraft Willing, who's got a channel, you should check it out. I'll try to get the link in here somewhere. He called this as well. A lot of people are calling this. Like I said, I think this is basically some torture and manipulation of Damian. This is trying to kind of teach him a lesson. I don't believe Alfred's dead. It is. There's just too many parts about this scene that indicate that it's a fake. They want Robin to believe he's a hostage. I mean, it could be Clayface there, as we never hear from Alfred. We never. It's just kind of a quick 2-panel scene where he's dead. So I don't buy it. I think this is definitely a manipulation of Damian. I think this issue was about Damian, headstrong Damian, coming into the city to take things on his own. He's outmatched by the challenge in front of him. He doesn't realize there's some arrogance that he's dealing with, and kind of like we broke Batman, we're breaking Damian to some extent, and so this is all just more manipulation. I think that both Maine and Thomas Wayne also understand that Bruce will be back at some point. He'll make his attempt, probably with the old plan, the Depresso plan that Bruce was going with. So this is just one more way to have some leverage over him, and also kind of torture him by involving his son. I think we're definitely going to get an issue here, or at least some kind of moment around fathers and sons, and we have Thomas and Bruce, and we have Bruce and Damian. So it's all those little pieces are coming into play. Like I said, I don't buy it. I think Alfred's still very much alive. I think that this comic, which was Damian's kind of infiltration, was fine. It was handled like a Damian infiltration. It was more or less normal Damian. I think the way Damian's written in Teen Titans is a little more on point. Personally, I think that they capture his spirit a little bit better here. This is kind of like I don't know. We just don't. Damian is a prop. He's a prop for this story. He's not heavily kind of keyed into it. I do like the way Gotham Girl was taken down. I thought that was some nice, clever kind of throwback before, so to an earlier issue. And no, I like it. I like that Damian's using some of this magic as well. That's kind of a new one, and it'd be nice to explore that a little bit. The Catwoman Bruce scenes. I mean, they've taken Bruce to rock bottom. Now we're building it back up again. I have not enjoyed they took him down a little too far, to the point that now he's just mopey. It's the Bane, your father, the villains. You're hurt. They're strong. They'll win. You'll die. I know, but at least I'll die in Gotham, like mother, like father. It will be a good death. I don't like that. I mean, it's just it doesn't sound like Batman. And Batman, like, I could see every scenario, every plan, everything. I am sorry, but this is the way. And then you have you have Catwoman kind of, oh, you idiot. And she's actually speaking for the audience. The audience is going, you idiot. Um, I don't know. I think that there's a better way to kind of pull all this stuff off, and too much has been taken away from Batman. Now it's got to be reinserted into him, and that's going to be a trick, I think. Anyway, this is Batman 77. That's where we are? With City of Bane, and we're heading toward the end game slowly but surely. With Tom King, we'll have this run, and then the Batman Catwoman series, where they kind of tie all that up with a bow. But what do you think? Do you believe it's real? I no way. I call shenanigans. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and thank you for listening.